Chapter 77. Fists that speak louder than words. Lu Junzhuo stepped forward slowly, his eyes cold and full of murderous intent. Tang Yu's expression was grim. Relying on Fudo Ming Wanggong to tank the hits wasn't going to cut it anymore. His aura was almost depleted. In his last resort, words and punches was limited to 5 uses. Worse, he had no idea how effective it was. This was bad. For the first time, Tang Yu genuinely felt panic bubbling inside. This is the longest I've ever made it, he muttered to himself. Strangely fragmented memories flashed through his mind, visions of being killed off in different novels in different ways. Each time, someone else landed the final blow. He'd lived longer in some stories, but couldn't quite recall when. The memories disappeared as quickly as they came. Lu Junzhuo sneered. You scared stiff already? Just a useless second-gen rich boy. And Yi Chen hadn't handled this? What a joke. He lunged, launching a flurry of strikes. Tang Yu barely blocked the first wave. The thugs, who had been humiliated by Tang Yu earlier, started cheering from the sidelines like a bunch of sore losers. Armed and angry, they gathered their courage, hoping to jump in and get payback. But as Lu Junzhuo's relentless attacks drained what little ki he had left, Tang Yu realized something. He couldn't stall any longer. He clenched his fists. 5 uses left. He gritted his teeth, absorbed one more blow, and then activated words and punches. Euler! He roared the phrase as he punched forward. Full anime-style power shout. Lu Junzhuo was taken aback slightly and stepped back. Huh? There was no true ki in Tang Yu's body. No internal cultivation. No technique. But that punch had real power. It felt like the strike of a peak yellow-rank martial artist. Still, that was the limit. Lu Junzhuo shook it off and charged again, even faster and more aggressive than before. This guy's nearly out of energy, he thought. 1 more minute and it's over. Tang Yu took another hit, this one right to the chest. The last of his protective ki evaporated. He was out. Damn system, Tang Yu cursed in his mind. All these rewards, and I'm still getting wrecked. He tried 3 more punches, shouting different one-liners each time. Nothing worked. Lu Junzhuo growled. Enough! He lashed out with another kick, slamming Tang Yu straight in the chest. It sent him flying backward, gasping for air. Then something clicked. In the haze of pain and pressure, Tang Yu suddenly understood the true meaning behind words and punches. The power of the punch depended on the line, he shouted. So what line could trigger a critical hit? The answer was obvious. He steadied himself, clenched his fists, and roared with all the dignity and shamelessness he could muster. Look, facts aside, is there really anything wrong with being a man? Bam! The punch landed clean. Lu Junzhuo, confident and smug, had stood there ready to absorb it. Instead, he was blasted 10 full meters backward, smashing through 2 gambling tables before he even hit the ground. Blood sprayed from his mouth as his body crumpled into a heap. His face was pale. His chest felt like it had been caved in. What kind of punch was that? Even his own true Kui defenses had been useless against it. If he hadn't been wearing reinforced inner armor, that punch might have killed him outright. All around them, the thugs froze. They'd just been cheering moments ago. Now, they were staring at Tang Yu like he was some kind of demon. A man like that could not be fought. Suddenly, sirens. A wave of footsteps thundered from the main entrance. SWAT officers, fully geared, rushed into the casino. Everyone on the ground! Hands where we can see them! The room erupted into chaos as everyone dropped to their knees. There was only one exit, no escape this time. Leading the charge was Director Wang, head of the Chengxi branch. When he saw Bai Wanyi unconscious on the floor, his face went pale. Wanyi, are you okay? He rushed over to check her, helping her sit up gently. Thankfully, Lu Junzhuo hadn't knocked her out too hard. She regained consciousness quickly. As soon as her eyes fluttered open, she gasped. Where's Tang Yu? Everyone around her blinked. What the hell? Even the hardened officers were confused. Why was this woman waking up and immediately calling for Tang Yu? Wasn't this the same guy who already had 2 women fighting over him at the precinct? Was he working on a hat trick with Bai Wanyi now? Meanwhile, Lu Junzhuo used the chaos to slip away toward the restroom. He was seriously injured. Once inside, he quickly ripped off his human skin mask and flushed it down the toilet. His body twisted as he undid the bone-shrinking technique. Coughing up a mouthful of blood, he popped a healing pill and leaned against the wall. He felt better. But one thing was clear. Tang Yu was not normal. That last punch, he couldn't have matched it himself. The sheer force, the lethality. Who the hell was this guy? Before he could think further, officers stormed into the bathroom to round up the remaining gamblers. Lu Junzhuo didn't resist. He let them cuff him and throw him into a patrol car. Back on the floor, Tang Yu stood in place, still stunned by what had just happened. He rubbed his chest. It ached like hell. That last hit had done some real damage. But the counterattack, holy crap, that punch really was divine, like the fist of heaven itself. Still dazed, he stumbled toward Bai Wanyi. She had just sat up. Are you okay? They both asked at the exact same time. Yeah, they answered also in unison. They stared at each other for a moment. Director Wang blinked. Tang Yu was soaked in blood. Young Master Tang, are you all right? Are you hurt? I'm fine. Thud. He didn't finish the sentence. All at once his legs gave out, and he fainted. Luckily, Bai Wanyi was ready. She caught him, but he fell face first into her chest. His face smushed directly into her generous curves, and stayed there. So soft. That was the last thing Tang Yu's inner voice muttered before he passed out completely. Bai Wanyi's mouth twitched. Still holding him, she gently adjusted him into a bridal carry and stood up. Director Wang, I'm taking him to the hospital. Please handle things here, and if you find a man named Lu Junzhuo, check his identity thoroughly. Director Wang nodded. Understood. Chapter 78. After Lu Junzhuo was taken to the police station, he thought everything was under control. He'd disguised himself well, restored his bone structure, and wiped all traces clean. No one would connect him to the hunchbacked middle-aged man who attacked Tang Yu. Worst case, he'd get hit with a charge for gambling, a slap on the wrist. But to his surprise, the police weren't letting him off so easily. They kept him overnight, grilling him with endless questions, treating him more like a suspect than a bystander. Hell, they didn't even offer him a glass of water. By morning, there was still no evidence linking him to anything major. So they sent him to the detention center just for the gambling charges. And there, waiting for him, 4 very familiar faces. It was none other than the elite members of the Grim Reaper squad. In the vast sea of people, somehow they were all here. Lu Junzhuo couldn't help but sigh. What is this, a Dragon Soul reunion? Lu Shao, what are you doing here? Deng He, the one with 12 fingers, greeted him with a surprised look. Lu Junzhuo clasped his hands behind his back and answered coolly, Came to visit. Thought I'd pick you guys up while I'm at it. But Lu Shao, why's your face so pale? Motion sickness. And the blood on your shirt? Hurt someone. He cut off the questions with a wave, not in the mood for their nonsense. Go rest. We'll regroup tomorrow. I've got plans in Suhang that need all of you. Still, something about these 4 felt off. He couldn't put his finger on it, but something was weird. Understood. Lu Shao trusts us, and we'll repay that trust with our lives. The 4 saluted in unison, full of energy. Lu Junzhuo nodded, satisfied. Good. Loyal to the end. After thinking for a moment, he beckoned them closer and whispered his next plan. They listened intently, though their expressions seemed oddly complicated. He ignored it, returned to his bed, and began meditating. That punch from Tang Yu earlier still left lingering pain. Damn it. I'll need at least 10 days to recover. Meanwhile, Tang Yu had been rushed to the hospital. Against the confused stares of doctors and nurses, Bai Wanyi carried him bridal style into a private room and demanded immediate care. The doctors ran a full exam, then handed the report to her. Miss Bai, your boyfriend is fine, just exhausted from physical overexertion. He'll be good with a few days of rest. He's not my boyfriend, Bai Wanyi said quickly, cheeks flushing. The doctor smiled knowingly. Of course, he didn't argue. A Princess Carrie, and she's saying not her man. Right. Bai Wanyi looked at Tang Yu, still unconscious. Even though the test said he was okay, she didn't feel at ease. He'd taken so many hits. Could they really be sure there was no internal injury? She made a decision time for a second opinion. Hers. She gently removed Tang Yu's shirt and grabbed a wet towel to wipe away the dried blood. As she cleaned, her eyes landed on his sculpted 8-pack abs. Her cheeks turned pink. It's impressive, she muttered. As a woman in law enforcement, she despised weak, delicate men. Her ideal man? Masculine, physically strong, capable of protecting her. Abs? Absolutely essential. I'm just checking for bruising, she whispered, running her fingers over his abs. After a few seconds, she realized her hand had lingered far too long. She blushed harder and quickly pulled away. Still, she rolled him gently to check his back. Nothing there either. No cuts, no swelling. Wait, what about down there, she thought, remembering how he stopped her earlier, when she'd tried to check lower. Maybe he's hiding an injury. Although the doctor had cleared him, she wanted to be sure. She reached for his waistband. Right then, Tang Yu's eyes snapped open. What the? He looked down, saw her hand on his pants, and nearly jumped out of bed, if he had the strength. When he realized it was Bai Wanyi, he exhaled in relief. Now, thank God it's not a dude. That would have been a horror movie. The world is too chaotic these days. I heard a guy passed out drunk and woke up missing his phone and his other dignity. Handsome guys like me, too dangerous to fall asleep anywhere. What are you doing? He asked, trying to pull his pants up, but his body was still too weak. I was checking to see if you were injured, Bai Wanyi replied with a snort. Tang Yu frowned. To check my body? You just want an excuse to feel me up. If I hadn't woken up, who knows what kind of treatment you were planning. I don't see any injuries, but if you start feeling weird, you tell me. She avoided his eyes and started buttoning his shirt. It was a little awkward. Ugh, why do I feel guilty? I only copped a feel on his abs. That's barely first base. But still, he thinks I was going to jump him. Please. Can you help me put my clothes back on? Tang Yu said with a sigh. I'm kind of useless right now. She rolled her eyes and helped him dress properly. Once done, she crossed her arms. I'm serious. How are you not hurt? You got hit at least a dozen times. Hard head, he said, flashing a smile. As he rested, the aura of Fudo Ming Wanggong slowly started returning. He felt his strength gradually return. Still, what happened at the casino bothered him. Lu Junzhuo, way stronger than Ye Chen, he thought. If he and Ye Chen team up, it's going to get messy. That guy was a cockroach. A sneaky, smug, dangerous cockroach. Unfortunately, he'd almost succeeded. Tang Yu shifted. Suddenly, he froze. An urgent biological need hit him like a freight train. Too much barbecue. Too much beer. No pee breaks. He needed to go. Now. He struggled to sit up. Bai Wanyi noticed his strained expression. What's wrong? I need to pee. There was a long pause. Then go. He looked at her helplessly. I can't move. Her face flushed again. She immediately understood what he meant. Oh, God. He wants me to help him pee. She bit her lip. She had helped her baby nephew before. It was just a body. After a few deep breaths, she made her decision. Fine. Lean on me. Let's go. She put his arm over her shoulder and carefully guided him into the tiny bathroom in the ward. It was small, barely enough space for 2 adults. Their bodies brushed slightly. This is a bit cramped, Tang Yu muttered. Okay, look, I'm not the type to take advantage. I'll return the favor tenfold. Just please hurry, I'm going to explode. Bai Wanyi glared at him, trying not to blush. Just like helping a kid. Just like helping a kid. Just like halfway through helping him aim. She froze. This was way more than she expected. Hey, what the hell? Is this normal size? Tang Yu's thoughts chimed in again. Stop hesitating. Let it happen. Brothers in pain. I'm not saying I'm built different, but I'm built different. Chapter 79. The toilet, the water, and the plot hospital corridor. Sumuye walked briskly toward Tang Yu's hospital room, heels clicking with urgency. She was beautiful, so much so that people turned their heads as she passed. One middle-aged man wearing a neck brace was being advised by a nurse. Mr. Wang, remember not to twist your neck too quickly over the next few... Crack. The man's head whipped around to follow Sumuye, and promptly twisted the wrong way. A painful yelp echoed down the hall. Sumuye didn't notice. She was too focused. She just heard that Tang Yu was injured during a raid on an underground casino and had been rushed to the hospital. She ran the whole way. When she finally found his room, she pushed open the door and froze. Tang Yu was being helped out of the bathroom by Bai Wanyi. The 2 women locked eyes. The room suddenly felt very awkward. Why? Were they coming out of the bathroom together? Muye, you're here. Great timing. I was just helping him. He lost all strength, Bai Wanyi explained, flustered. Ah, got it. Su Muye quickly stepped forward and helped Tang Yu back to the bed. And then it hit her. If Tang Yu was too weak to walk, what exactly was Bai Wanyi helping him with in the bathroom? She glanced over just in time to see Bai Wanyi scrubbing her hands like she'd just handled radioactive material. Su Muyu's expression shifted. A little strange. A little complicated. Should have gotten here sooner. She turned to Tang Yu and asked softly, You okay? I'm good. Tang Yu smiled. She came this fast? She must really care. Weird. She's not like before. Hearing his inner thoughts made Su Muyu pause. Yeah, she wasn't like before. Before, she wouldn't have cared this much. I'm going to rest for a bit, Bai Wanyi yawned, walking over to the second hospital bed. You two talk. Within minutes, she was out cold, snoring softly. Tang Yu and Su Muyu stared at each other for a moment. It was awkward. Neither could think of what to say. Can you pour me a glass of water? Tang Yu broke the silence. Sure, hot or cold? Cold's fine. She grabbed a paper cup and filled it at the dispenser. When she returned, Tang Yu struggled to sit up but didn't have the strength. Su Muyue quickly propped a pillow behind him and helped him upright. You're hopeless, she muttered, lifting the cup. I'll feed you. Thanks. She brought the cup to his lips, and he took a few slow sips. Want more? No, I'm good. He leaned back. Just need a bit of rest. Better not drink too much. If I end up needing to pee again, I can't exactly ask her to help like Bai did. Though, silver lining, at least I didn't have to ask Bai to wipe. Su Muyue almost choked on her own breath. What the hell is this guy thinking about all day? But, judging by his thoughts, did Bai Wanyi actually help him in the bathroom? She side-eyed her best friend, who was fast asleep, drooling slightly. She really went and did it, huh? If you're tired, get some sleep, she said gently. Yeah, okay. Tang Yu lay back and was out within minutes. Sumuyue sat quietly by his side, watching him sleep. Just being here, listening to the mumbling in his heart, it felt warm. Peaceful. After about half an hour, Bai Wanyi woke up. She looked more refreshed after the nap and glanced at Tang Yu, then at Sumuyue. He's asleep? Sumuyue nodded and raised a finger to her lips. Bai Wanyi slipped on her shoes. I'll head back to the precinct. Still need to finish the paperwork from the casino bust. Sumuyue hesitated, then followed her out. You're not staying with him? Bai Wanyi asked, raising a brow. Let him sleep. Sumuyue smiled faintly. Just a short visit, a few words, and hearing his thoughts, it was enough. You're something else. Used to ignore him completely. Now look at you chasing your man back from the crematorium. Bai Wanyi shook her head in disbelief. Sumuyue could only laugh, bitter and soft. I don't even know myself anymore. Back in the hospital room, Tang Yu stirred and sat up. His strength had mostly returned. Yo, dog system, he muttered. Where's my reward? Ding. System upgrade complete. Plot hint function activated. Future plot deviations will be detected and reported to host in real time. Tang Yu blinked. Wait, what? No techniques this time? No power-ups? But the more he thought about it, the more he realized. This was huge. He could now track the plot even if it derailed. That meant he wouldn't be caught off guard like before. He quickly asked, Is the auction arc still happening? In the original storyline, Ye Chen snagged an antique for a ridiculous price at an upcoming auction. Hidden inside it were a rare elixir and an ancient martial arts manual. The boost catapulted him forward. Han Mingxuan, that hotshot from Yanjing, had even died trying to steal it from him. If Tang Yu couldn't get good rewards from the system, then he'd just take Ye Chen's fortune for himself. You don't want to help me? Fine, I'll help myself. You gave the Dragon King the treasure? Then I'll snatch it right back. Let's see how long this cockroach can keep crawling. Time to rewrite the script. Chapter 080, Airport Encounters and Dream Responsibilities. After resting up and regaining most of his strength, Tang Yu left the hospital and drove home to recover fully. The auction wasn't for another week, no need to rush. But when he walked into his room, he was surprised to see Ling Han still sitting there. You're still here? Tang Yu raised an eyebrow. Now what, planning to bunk with me tonight? I went out earlier, she replied, sticking out her tongue. I'm just tidying up now. Of course, she hadn't tidied anything. She was just worried. Tang Yu hadn't returned all night, and after hearing that Lu Junzhuo had arrived in Suhang, she couldn't help but stay. He was dangerous, hidden even within the Dragon Soul organization. Worse than Ye Chen. And even though she trusted Tang Yu's strength, she still couldn't relax, because Dragon Soul was a monster of an organization. Sure, on paper there were the 8 generals, but no one knew how many true monsters that ancient old man had tucked away. The only small relief? She was technically still on Ye Chen's side, which meant she didn't have to help Lu Junzhuo. But the downside was, she also couldn't get any intel on him, which meant she couldn't help Tang Yu either. Yo, working hard, huh? Tang Yu grinned. Should I reward you? How about I take you to do another cosplay shoot tomorrow? Ling Han's face instantly flushed bright red. Last time she lost a game to Tang Yu, and he'd made her wear a revealing cosplay of a beaver girl. That outfit? Not safe for work. Not safe for life. Gi girls should capture their youthful beauty, Tang Yu said with mock solemnity. It's an investment in memories. I should have taken a few more sets, honestly. Forget it, makes me look like a creep bullying a good girl. Better to find evidence on her parents first, then use that to negotiate. Ling Han blinked. Her heart warmed just a little. Tang Yu was still thinking about her problems. I'll head out now, she said softly. You should rest. She turned and left the room, a small smile on her lips. Tengwang Group. Wang Yixue lay across her office desk, holding a picture frame and grinning like a lovesick fool. In the photo, a pair of college-age golden lovebirds, her and Tang Yu. She sighed and stared dreamily at it before glancing over at her secretary. Jojo, be honest. Why do Tang Yu and I look so perfect together? Fate, her secretary replied with a perfectly straight face. Excellent answer. 10 points. Bonus, 10,000 added to your salary. I only spoke the truth, and I humbly accept. Make that 20,000. Secretary Jojo quickly stifled a giggle and cleared her throat to get back on topic. By the way, miss, Mr. Lee from Pearl April Group wants to meet about a potential merger. That fat woman? Wang Yixue wrinkled her nose. Li Jai, the head of Pearl April, was a well-known rich woman in Mingzhu, infamous for winning over her employees with her looks and wealth. She ran a major e-commerce platform and wanted to merge with one of Tengwang's divisions. aiming to break into the top 3 nationally. After a brief silence, Wang Yichui nodded. All right, did she mention a time? She said she's flexible, anytime works. Schedule it for this afternoon. Then she pulled out her phone and dialed Tang Yu. When he picked up, she said sweetly, Babe, come to my office. We're flying to Mingzhu to close a deal this afternoon. What kind of deal? E-commerce merger stuff. I'll explain when I see you. She explained everything. Their platform was luxury-focused, catering to premium goods. Tang Group was the second largest shareholder, so any merger had to go through Tang Yu. They agreed to meet at the airport. Tang Yu hung up and got in his car. System, how's this plot looking now? He remembered this arc from the original book. In the novel, Wang Yichui went to Mingzhu, got drugged by the business partner, and was nearly violated until Ye Chen dramatically arrived and saved the day. Q, antidote, gratitude, and romance, typical Shuangwen move. Ding! Plot has been altered. The system updated Tang Yu with the new version. Just as he suspected, Ye Chen was out. Lu Junzhou had taken his place. Tang Yu narrowed his eyes. Figures. Cockroach 1 replaced by Cockroach 2. He immediately fired off a message to the Grim Reaper squad. Time to use his 2-5 spies properly. By the time Tang Yu arrived at the airport, Wang Yichui was already there. Her presence lit up the entrance. Men turned to stare, even if their girlfriends were right beside them. One middle-aged CEO, here to sign a deal with a listed company, practically drooled. Miss, do I look familiar? He stepped up with a smug grin. I'm Liu, CEO of Juhei Group. Scram. Wang Yichui didn't even blink. You look like a toad with Botox. Older than my dad. Who told you I wanted to know you? Old cow trying to eat young grass? I've seen better bulls on sale for 10 yuan. The man's face flushed red. But before he could react, Wang Yichui lit up and waved at someone behind him. Honey, over here! Tang Yu nearly tripped over his own feet. Did she just say, honey? The men nearby turned to stare at him with undisguised jealousy. The middle-aged CEO's eyes widened as he finally recognized Tang Yu. Tang Yu? The Tang Group's heir? Panic hit him fast. He ducked behind his briefcase and backed away as fast as possible. When Tang Yu finally caught up to her, he whispered, Can you not just throw the husband word around like that? You are, she said innocently. You bullied me last night. I wasn't even home last night. In my dream. So now you're responsible. Tang Yu stared at her, dumbfounded. That's it. I'm liable for too much already. I was greedy last time, dreamed of 4 at once. Wang Yichui glared at him. Greedy? Who's stealing from who, huh? Chapter 081. Welcome to Pearl April. Pearl April Hotel Presidential Suite. Lu Junzhou sat on a leather sofa, gently swirling a glass of red wine. Though his face was still pale, his body had mostly recovered. That punch from a few days ago had hit hard too hard. The lingering soreness in his chest was a reminder he hadn't expected. Across from him sat Li Suifei, the infamous owner of the April Group. From her name, you might imagine a graceful, elegant woman. Reality? Not quite. She resembled a stack of 5 or 6 Michelin tires squeezed into a velvet dress. One size too small and one drink too deep. Still, her tone was syrupy sweet. Junzhou, I heard you're really good at massage. My shoulders are a little sore. Mind rubbing them for me? She cooed, batting lashes that looked store-bought. Lu Junzhou's eyes twitched with disgust, but he forced a smile and stood up. Of course. He walked behind her, placing his hands on her shoulders and trying not to gag. It was like kneading a slab of warm butter. Each squeeze made his stomach churn. But for his plan to work, he needed her. And Lu Junzhou was the kind of man who would flirt with a 70-year-old widow with a face tumor if it got him closer to power. Oh, right there. A little harder. Li Suifei closed her eyes in satisfaction, practically purring. He swallowed back the bile in his throat. How's everything going with today's setup? He asked, keeping his tone light. All taken care of, she said, reaching up to stroke his hand. Anything you want, Junzhou. I'll make sure you get it. He finally cracked a smile. Last time, he'd tried the hero route with Bai Wanyi, only to get wrecked. This time, new strategy, new target. Wang Yichui, close to the Tang family, influential and not easily shaken if he could get her. It'd be a major win. Meanwhile, Tang Yu and Wang Yichui had just stepped off their flight. Wang Yichui wrapped herself around Tang Yu's arm, like she was afraid he'd float away. You're really leaning into the koala act, huh? Tang Yu chuckled. A koala hangs onto trees, she whispered in his ear. I haven't even started hanging on to you yet. Then she leaned closer, voice barely above a breath. But I could use you as a pole. Put on a bunny outfit. Do a little pole dance just for you. Tang Yu blinked. His brain short-circuited. Okay, that's kind of hot. No, focus. We've got serious business to handle. Also, gotta avoid standing up right now. Wang Yichui heard everything through his inner monologue and nearly doubled over from holding in her laughter. but she wasn't joking. She actually had packed a bunny costume. After all, this was technically a business trip, but it was also their first time away alone. A little vacation disguised as work. On the way to the hotel, they reviewed the contract proposals. They're asking for 30% of the merged shares, Wang Yixue explained, passing Tang Yu a folder. I don't think it's reasonable. Tang Yu skimmed it and smiled. Let's meet first and feel him out. There's no deal here. This whole thing is a trap. It's just Lu Junzhuo trying to set her up, drug her, play hero, and then swoop in like a discount knight. Honestly, next to this guy, Ye Chen feels like a half-decent rom-com lead. Wang Yixue narrowed her eyes. Wrote her, Lu Junzhuo again? She quickly pulled out her phone and sent a coded message. Ever since the Ye Chen fiasco, the Wang family had brought in ancient martial artists to bolster their defense. 2 were now secretly guarding her. Let that bastard try something. She'd be ready. Still, Tang Yu being this worried about her made her smile like an idiot. Once we wrap this up, let's stay a few more days and play, she said happily. Tempting, Tang Yu replied. But I've got something big going down soon. Can't stay long. Auction's coming. There's a treasure hidden there. I'm not letting Lu Junzhuo steal. Little bastard's been playing his hand too well lately. It's time I flipped the table. Well then, Wang Yixue teased, you owe me a kiss as compensation. You sure this isn't workplace harassment? Shh. Pucker up, or I'll sue. Before he could argue, she pulled him in and kissed his cheek, leaving a bright lipstick mark. Don't wipe it, she said with a grin. I'm meeting someone. I have to wipe it, he replied with a sigh, already reaching for a tissue. From the front seat, the driver peeked in the mirror and let out a quiet sigh. Ah, youth. Why didn't anyone ever kiss me at an airport? When they arrived at Pearl April Hotel, Li Shuifei was already outside, standing like a boulder in a bright floral dress. Tang Yu's eyes twitched. Dear Lord, that's a lot of woman. She's known for paying her boyfriends 6 figures a month, but I'd rather eat glass. Steel wool fetish, too, not even exaggerating. Wang Yixue bit the inside of her cheek to stop from laughing. President Wang, welcome. Li Shuifei waddled forward, extending her hand. Her beady eyes locked onto Tang Yu like a hawk spotting a steak. And this is? My boyfriend, Tang Yu, Wang Yixue said coldly. He's also the head of Tang Group and owns 45% of our platform. Li Shuifei's smile twitched, but she quickly covered it and turned to Tang Yu. I've heard so much about you, Mr. Tang. And seeing you now? Even more handsome than I imagined. She extended her hand for a shake. Tang Yu blinked. Then, with a polite smile, he bowed his head slightly and stepped back. Ah, sorry, Miss Li. I just used the restroom and forgot to wash my hands. Wouldn't want to be rude. A flicker of resentment flashed in her eyes. Excuse me? She hated being turned down, especially by handsome men. She had a rule. Any man who looked at her like she was beneath him would be beneath her, whether they liked it or not. She clenched her fists behind her back and forced another smile. You'll be mine, Tang Yu, one way or another.